For many of us, accreditation may still be a foreign concept. Today's video is attempting to explain the standard pathway that Highlands is on with the Higher Learning Commission. This is another video presentation in the HLC Chronicles series intended to inform all on the process. As always with all HLC videos, we start by looking at Highlands' mission and vision statements to understand the big picture view of what we stand for. Memorization is not required, but as always, it would be good for you to have a general knowledge of what you represent when you work for Highlands. So Highlands is on the standard pathway, which requires us to have our accreditation reaffirmed every 10 years. Subsequent to an initial accreditation in the 10-year cycle, reaffirmation shall occur not more than 4 years after the first accreditation action in each cycle. Reaffirmation for any institution on the standard pathway is contingent upon Highlands having undergone comprehensive evaluations in year 4 and 10 of the cycle through a process that assures both the higher education community and the public that we continue to meet the criteria for accreditation and federal compliance requirements. And that we are demonstrating a focus on continuing improvement. This is done through the assurance argument and a comprehensive evaluation through HLC peer reviewers. The assurance argument review is critical to the way the HLC peer reviewers learn about and evaluate Highlands, but it is not the only criterion. There are also evaluations made on-site and online during the visits and in other conversations the HLC has with the president, the ALO, the campus, and Highlands communities. The standard pathway provides for 5 separate criterions we need to address. We need to clearly state how we meet the criterions, how we're addressing any deficiencies, and provide evidence to back up our claims. Again, the HLC gives us a broad roadmap on what most higher level institutions are doing to meet their criterion, but do not, let me be clear, do not tell us how to do that. We are expected to develop our own policies, procedures, handbooks, offices, centers, and everything else we must do in order to keep Highlands running. HLC then reports on to the U.S. Department of Education regarding how we are doing. This is critical for Highlands, as without federal funding and the availability of our students to get federal funds like Pell Grants and student loans, many could not or would not be coming to Highlands. HLC also reviews our centers to make sure everything available to students on the main campus is also offered at the centers. The visit to campus, then, is the culmination of the peer reviewers reading and analyzing the assurance argument. Most questions will have been asked and answered by that time, but there are always things a peer reviewer wants to see or ask directly to verify themselves. This is why we need to get the assurance argument to the peer reviewers at least 30 days prior to their planned arrival on campus, and roughly 60 days before the site visit. We need to make sure that all evidence has been gathered and is accessible to peer reviewers, which we do after review by the Highlands campus community. After their site visit, the peer reviewers will get together and write their own report with recommendations on all 5 criterions and their subcomponents. This report is then forwarded to the IAC and perhaps the board for their review and final sign-off. Subsequent to reaffirmation, HLC will also renew Highlands' assignment to the standard pathway or declare us eligible to choose another pathway. Renewal of assignment to the standard pathway will be contingent on the institution demonstrating that it meets the criteria for accreditation and the federal compliance requirement, and not receiving an action involving show cause, probation, or withdrawal. If Highlands is declared eligible to choose another pathway, we may move to that pathway as long as we provide a letter of acceptance within a limited time frame as required by the requirement of the pathway being sought. We may also choose to remain on the standard pathway. To move to the only other option, the open pathway, we need to meet these standards. So whatever path we are on, or whatever the findings of the HLC, transparency in all things HLC is not only required, but it also the right thing to do for our students, staff, faculty, and administration. This transparency is achieved by posting all official HLC letters, our assurance arguments, evidence, and the processes we use to get where we are in walking the standard pathway at Highlands. This slide shows the people you can contact with any questions regarding the HLC or accreditation at Highlands. Thank you for viewing this video.